You take the dark way going home. Even though you feel nervous, still you continue. There is no such bus at this time. You can't afford it either to take a taxi, so you really have no other choice. While you were walking, you saw a man wearing a black hat and black jacket. You couldn't see his face because of his posture. You felt very nervous, but it disappeared immediately after the man passed you. You breathed a sigh of relief. You thought you were already safe, but you were wrong because you didn't expect the next thing to happen. Suddenly, someone covered your nose with a cloth, and the smell was pungent. You tried to remove it from your nose, but you couldn't take the strength of the person behind you. You tried to fight, but little by little, you got weaker until you completely lost consciousness. But before that happened, you accidentally grabbed the hat of the man behind you and saw his face. Brando entered Jungkook's mansion carrying you in his arms. How dare you to show in front of me after you ran away with my money? Jungkook said angrily while gritting his teeth. Captured him, he added. There's no need for that. I'm here to negotiate with you, Mr. Jun. Jungkook became even more angry when Brando called him like that. I'm going to sell this girl. She will be the payment for my debt to you. Jungkook laughed loudly. At the same time, he pulled out the gun and pointed at Brando's head. Are you crazy? I can get a girl if I want without money involved. So you mean you're not interested in her? What if I will tell you that she is the only daughter of Mr. Choi, the girl you are looking for? Will you still not be interested in her? Jungkook looked at you and slowly turned your face so he could see it clearly. His mouth hung open after recognizing your face. Now, tell me, are you still not interested in her? Put her down right away. As you wish, she replied and laid you in the sofa. What do you want? Tell me instantly, because I don't want to see your fucking face. Like I said, that girl is the payment of my debt, plus 10 million for bringing her here to you. Jungkook signaled Doro as he quickly moved and went to Jungkook's office. After some time, he came back with a paper bag that contains of money and handed to Brando. Don't try to show up in front of me again, because next time if our path cross, I will kill you for sure. Brando just smirked and stepped onwards toward the door. But before he could take another step, Jungkook stopped him. Wait, where did you meet her? And what was her life like? I met her in the bar. She worked as a waitress. I was fascinated by her beauty, but she turned down my feelings. Later on, she became a girlfriend because I threatened to kill her. But I felt guilty because she is so nice and naive. Aside from that, I know she really don't like me, so I set her free. Don't worry, I took care of her. I don't know much about her life, but one thing I know, since his father abandoned her, she became homeless. Then I just found out lately that she was the girl you were looking for. Get out of her. Can you tell her to forgive me for abducting her? At least now I know that she is in a good hands. After that, Brando completely left the mansion, while Jungkook approached you as he removed the hair that was covering your face. I'm sorry for whatever hardship you experienced in life. As he slowly carries you and transferred you to the guest room. Meanwhile, you woke up in an unfamiliar room. Where am I? You tried to recall what happened. Brando! I won't make a mistake. He is what I saw. You get up and look around, your heart racing with fear. You know Brando is a bad person. You are worried that he might be planning something for you. I need to get out of here. You went to the door to run away, but you stopped when you saw the doorknob moving. Someone on the other side was opening the door. You got panic and feel a great fear. You took a few steps back until you saw a figurine that was on the table. You immediately took it and held it tightly. Soon the door opened. The moment the person entered, you immediately threw the figurine at him, which hit him directly on the head. But you were surprised because that person wasn't Brando. Instead, he was the person who always went at your dad's barber shop before. You? You couldn't finish what you were going to say after you saw the blood slowly flowing from his head. You're about to run away, but you suddenly felt worried about him. So instead of leaving, you just looked for a clean cloth and covered Jungkook's head. I'm sorry, you said while placing the cloth on his wound. For what? He asked. Obviously for making your head bleed. It's not my fault. I was so scared. Someone kidnapped me last night. I was woke up in this unfamiliar room. I never thought it was you who would enter the door. I was expecting it to be Brando. Sit on the bed first. Do you have medicine so I can treat your wound? As you saw Jungkook pointed the cabinet, you went there and opened it and saw a medicine kit. You pulled Jungkook and made him sit on the bed. After that, you started treating him. You were quietly treating Jungkook until he asked you, how are you? It's been a while. He noticed that you didn't move, so he slowly looked up to look at you since you were just standing in front of him. He clearly saw your eyes with tears while you were still looking at his wound. Even though you didn't speak, Jungkook clearly saw the pain and hardship you went through. I'm not okay. I'm so devastated. But I tried to be okay because I want to live. At that moment, you couldn't stop from crying. Seeing you like that breaks his heart into tiny pieces as he stood up and securely hugged you. I'm sorry if I wasn't there when you needed help. But believe me, when I came back from the mission, I immediately looked for you. After I found out that you were no longer where you used to live, I haven't stopped looking for you in 2 years. Why and about your dad? You broke the hug and stepped back. What about him? The thing is, he has no intentions of leaving you. He just doesn't want to hurt you. What do you mean? A few years ago, Jungkook was shot and almost captured by his enemy. Luckily, your dad found him laying in the street near at your dad's barber shop where he was renting. At the same time, you were living there. Your dad hid Jungkook and treated him also. When you come home from school, because that time you are currently in the second year of college, you see the guy who was injured laying in your bed. You even told your dad that maybe he is a bad person because he has a gunshot and tattoos. But your dad told you not to judge people with his appearance. Whether he is bad or not, that person needs help, so he helped him. After 2 days, Jungkook woke up. In less than 1 hour, there were 6 cars stopped in front of the barber shop, and that's when you discovered that the one who saved your dad was the Mafia boss. Since then, Jungkook went to your father's barbershop almost every 2 days until you became friends. Eventually, little by little, feelings began to develop between the two of you. What you don't know is that your dad is very ill. Jungkook told him several times to get treatment, but your dad doesn't want to because his life has a limit already. Your dad told Jungkook that if he died, he asked him to take care of you. Jungkook offered a lot of help to your dad, but he refused all of them. Your dad also asked Jungkook not to tell you his real condition so you wouldn't worry. 3 months after that, you woke up one day, saw a letter from your dad saying he wants to go far away. Your world collapsed that time. The only thing you know is your dad abandoned you. You don't understand why he did that to you, since he knows he is the only family that you have after your mom died when you were 10 years old. At that time, Jungkook was away. He was abroad for his business. When he came back after 3 weeks, Jungkook found out that you wasn't live in the barber shop anymore. The landlord kicked you out after your dad abandoned you because he knew you couldn't afford to pay the rent. While looking for you, he was also looking for your dad until he found him in the temple. But unfortunately, everything was late because when he arrived, your dad was already dead. No, that's not true. Please tell me everything wasn't true. Jungkook came to you again and hugged you. I'm sorry. I have no reason to lie to you. You just hugged Jungkook tightly as you burst into tears. All this time you were mad at him because you thought he abandoned you. You didn't even know that he was in pain. He always showed you his smile, but you had no idea he was hurting inside. A few minutes passed. You gradually calmed down. I need to go. I still have work. But Jungkook blocked your way. Do you think I will let you go? From today onwards, this is where you will live. You can live as a princess if you want. I can't do that. Why? You don't love me anymore? Jungkook, I'm not the same person you loved before. Maybe for you, but not for me. You're still the same YN. You didn't listen to him. You continued down the stairs until you reached the living room. You were going to the door, but suddenly, 20 men dressed in black appeared and blocked the door. Let me pass, please. I'm sorry, madam, but we received orders from boss not to let you go. You look around and you saw Jungkook behind you crossing his arms. Jungkook, let me go. He stared at you and shook his head and said, No. Really? You walked towards him and grabbed his arms, and all of a sudden you flip him, and because of that, his body fell on the hard floor that makes him groan. Release me, or I will break all your bones. Alright, you want to go? Then go. If Brando will kidnap you again and he sells you to me, I will not buy you. What? Did I hear that right? That guy sold me to you? Your worth is 50 million. Your eyes widened in shock, but later on, you took a throw pillow and started hitting him. Are you crazy? Why did you both me? In the first place, I'm not a thing that can be sold. Jungkook held your hand tightly to stop you from hitting him as he looked directly into your eyes. Do you know why I did that? I don't care about the money. I did that to be with you, so I could take care of you. For these fucking 2 years, I feel like I'm going crazy wondering where you are. I'm a mafia king. I have a lot of connection, but they all became useless because I didn't find you. Then Brando came carrying you. Do you think I let him leave here bringing you back after 2 years of missing you? You just stare at each other. You can really see in his eyes the concern for you. Okay, fine. I'm not leaving. I'll stay here by your side forever. He laughed while his tears were falling. Later on, you helped him stand until your eyes landed on his men, who all had their backs on you while busy whispering if you two have already kissed. The next day, you woke up early and got ready, since you told Jungkook that you wanted to see your dad. You went out the room and stood at the door opposite yours and started knocking the door. Jungkook! Jungkook, hurry up! Are you awake? But no one answers, so you thought of going in. You grab the doorknob at the same time you twist and push it, when suddenly your whole face was hit by something hard. You look up and saw Jungkook as you realize that you bump into his chest. Strawberry? You said because his chest smelled like a strawberry. You stand up properly after you see that he is half naked and slowly turn around, but he holds your head using his one hand and turned it so that you face him again. Why your eyes are closed? He asked. Because I just want to. Then open your eyes. I don't want to. Just open your eyes. Because you don't want to open your eyes, Jungkook tries to open them forcefully, but you just close them even more instead, until you feel Jungkook's lips touch yours. To your surprise, you open your eyes as you saw him wiggling his brows. After that, he completely closed his eyes and kissed you passionately. After a few minutes, you broke the kiss while panting because you were both out of breath. Why are you ashamed to see my body? Sooner or later, you will always see this after we get married. Married? Hmm, married. Let's get married, YN. You smile and say, okay, let's get married. The end. Thank you for watching Kubis. Good night. Jungkook was about to kiss you again, but you two heard someone clapping